from the Rats and Stacks. It's the best on wax. Let me get a double sound check. This is KLAM. Concrete Jungle. Tommy Dangerously here. I'm here with J'Leon Love. It's love time. It's a pleasure to have you here. You know, I followed you for, your young career, seeing your debut against Vince Rufus Buckhalter, first round KO. No questions about it. You were the truth, In 08, you were the Olympic training partner in 08. What can you tell us about that?
Man, it was great, man. To be in a camp, and to be able to help these guys get ready to go to the Olympic Games and represent the country, and to say that I actually got a chance to help do that and train with them. So, it was a great opportunity. I love all the guys who was there. I keep in touch with a lot of them. So, man, it's part of boxing. You see so many different faces. You lose so many different faces in the game. So, but man, it was an honor, and it was a great opportunity.
So I watched your fight at the Joint, Hard Rock, Saturday. Made sure to put it on DVR. Watched it. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. Some people say that you're too patient. What do you got to say against that?
I mean, people can say what they want. It is boxing. I had 10 rounds. Never been 10 rounds before. Why rush it? I knew I had 10 rounds to do what I had to do. We can go 10 rounds very well. We do it all the time in the gym. But in the actual fight and in the gym, it's different. So,
yeah.
We just knew we wanted to come out, establish our jab, and just display our skills. It's nothing to rush. Why rush it? And that's what I think a lot of young guys, in my shoes, come out blazing, try to be exciting. And sometimes get clipped, sometimes burn their load out, man, and and they suffer for the rest of the fight. But
yeah.
It's a thinking game.
Yeah.
So I just used my mind and used my brain. And I thought, let me take my time, let me pick this guy apart, and I'll catch him and break him down. And that's what we did.
Might catch a hot one. Yeah, there's danger on both sides of the gate always. Ramon Valenzuela, you guys actually had a little history there. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm very familiar with Ramon and his brother. We used to fight these guys all the time, and I'm from Detroit and then from Chicago, so we used to go to do a lot of shows in Chicago, and those are the guys we were fighting. But it's one particular time, we fought in Chicago, and I actually outboxed the dude very well. You know what I mean? He wasn't nothing too dangerous. He wasn't like this beast of a kid. But we fought in Chicago, and it was their show, so he got the better end of the stick that day. I mean, I don't do the whole they robbed me, but I didn't get the fair shake. But it's boxing now. We don't, he got the victory. If I would have put him to sleep, then I would say I would have won. But that wasn't the case. So we were young kids, man, like 15, 16. So it all comes with the game. It's just experience, it's fighting, amateur fighting. So I see they were kind of riding off. They beat me in the amateurs and stuff like that. But
yeah,
the pros and the amateurs is 1,000% different.
It is what it is, The guy was wrestling. He was more wrestler than a fighter on Saturday. I think Jay Nady is really fair referee. I mean, he's known for his integrity. He's not a pushover parent. He controls order in the ring, and I guess he just wasn't having it.
I've been watching Jay Nady for as long as I've been watching boxing, and he's always been a serious guy, and he takes his job serious. And I mean, it's boxing. You do it, it's right, and it's wrong. And I think this guy was just, so frustrated that he just resulted, and not let alone frustrated, but I was catching him, and I knew I could stop him there in his late rounds. I knew, okay, I got him where I want him. I'm catching him clean. I'm hurting him. He's slowing down. Let's turn up, and I started to pick up the pace. And I think he didn't want to get stopped. Let me find a way out, and that's what he did. It was kind of crazy. I wasn't expecting the kid to try to toss me out the ring, but it came with it. We just kept our composure. Kind of laughed it off. Went back and said, let's stick to the game plan and start off where we left off. My body, man, we worked so hard. I got a great camp. I got a great team. Bob Ware, strength and conditioning coach. And when they changed the fight to, they asked about the 10-rounder, it was a no-brainer. We thought about it. We said, yeah, why not? We do it all the time. We just did